Hoop session number 2. In here getting in. We get ready. What we doing, man?
We running the court. They had a bomb squad.
And they still lost.
Look, Trey on the thing.
This story, I said it before, but I'm saying it again. I was in the gym. I want to say I was getting ready for Chris Diaz or something. And he was sparring like a heavyweight fighter. I'm looking, I'm type nervous for him. I'm like, why is he in the ring with this big old dude? And man, I swear he done caught this dude on the chin. Boom! Dude, wobbling all around.
Crawford just released his training video for the Canelo fight, and it's already clear he's not treating this like just another matchup. His trainer, Bomac, has made that very clear. In fact, he's already brought a serious weapon into camp, Lester Martinez. This isn't just a sparring partner who matches Canelo's size. Martinez brings real danger. He recently steamrolled Johan James, an undefeated fighter, with a casual 4th-round knockout. That kind of finish doesn't happen without both power and speed. And that's exactly why Bomac wants Martinez pushing Crawford to the edge in every sparring session.
Kid, man, nobody really heard about him. Some heard about him. But his name is Lester Martinez, man. He's from Guatemala. And, man, that boy bad as shit. I tell you, 168 pounds, he bad as shit. He got a couple world championships, 168 pounds.
Martinez is already a natural super middleweight, the same division Canelo dominates. Crawford, on the other hand, has never competed there. He hasn't even tested himself at 168 in an official fight. He ruled at 140, held strong at 147, and tried 154 just once. Now, he's skipping the build-up and going straight into the toughest challenge of all, facing a legend like Canelo. Canelo has been at the top for years. He's taken on bigger, stronger fighters and handled more power than Crawford has ever faced. Still, Crawford isn't fazed by Canelo's size, and neither is his trainer, Bomac.
Believes in hardcore boxing fans. They know Crawford can beat Canelo, just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. This is real simple. It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that. Hey, Terence gonna get in there and do what he needs to do, perform.
Bomac was straightforward when asked about the size difference. He didn't deny it exists, but he made it clear it won't decide the fight. "No, I'm not worried about size," he said. "Terence has sharp instincts and a high boxing IQ. The only one who can beat Terence is Terence." That kind of belief isn't new in Crawford's corner, but facing someone naturally bigger like Alvarez will push it to the limit. Bomac admitted that some worry is normal when preparing for a fight, but it doesn't define them. He's confident in who Crawford is and what drives him. For them, this fight is all about legacy and proving the doubters wrong, doing what no one else has and rewriting history in the process.
Crawford, that the size and the strength of CaneloAlvarez will carry the day, ultimately wearing the perceivably smaller Terence Crawford down. What do you say about that?
I tell you like this. The man must have seen something when he called Canelo out, because you got to remember, Bud called Canelo out. So he must see something in order for him to get that win. And he know he can win. So like I said before, it's our job to get him to that point.
Crawford is going after something no one else has done in this era, becoming undisputed in 3 weight classes. He already achieved it at 140 and did it again at 147 when he beat Errol Spence Jr., putting on his best performance with several knockdowns and stopping an undefeated unified champion. The fight against Canelo at 168 is a bold step no one else has seriously taken. Crawford isn't easing into super middleweight. He's facing the top fighter. When asked if this is Crawford's toughest fight, Bomac didn't hesitate. "Absolutely," he said. "Just look at what they've both accomplished."
The speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No.
That sentence captures the respect Canelo commands, his experience, championship belts, and the high-level names on his record. Golovkin, Kovalev, Plant, Smith, Saunders. Canelo has taken on and beaten some of the most respected fighters across several weight classes.
G on Bud's resume. There's no Trout on Bud's resume. There's no Daniel Jacobs on Bud's resume. Canelo is the one that's fought the elite level opposition. It's Canelo that fought Laura. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ.
Yeah, but Bud is an elite boxer.
So you're an elite boxer, but
that experience gives Canelo more than just skill and toughness. It also brings calm and perfect timing. He knows how to take charge of a fight, save his energy, choose the right moments to strike, and make his opponents feel his power, even when he's not attacking.
I just got to beat him. I'm not going in there looking to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Yes, absolutely. You know, when I look at Canelo, he's a smaller, bigger guy moving up in divisions. You know, being that these big guys are slower, so they might catch him with something, but he might see it at the last moment. You know, they might catch him with a hard shot, but he's able to roll and turn.
Dmitry Bivol also highlighted Canelo's calmness. The Russian light heavyweight, one of only 2 fighters to beat Canelo, was at ringside after Canelo's win over Bivol. He told Fight Hub TV that Crawford's mindset will be crucial. Bivol described Crawford's attitude as a true champion's mindset, saying it's what makes this fight different from the rest.
Here for Fight Hub TV with Terence Crawford. What do you make of Canelo versus Skull?
Canelo did what he had to do to get the victory.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus CaneloAlvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence.
In the fight with Bivol, he noticed that Canelo controlled the pace completely. When Canelo wanted to take a break, he could do so easily. But Bivol expects a different fight against Crawford. No easy breaks and no control without a fight back. Crawford won't let Canelo run the show freely. This is the opinion of someone who's been in the ring with Canelo and knows how hard it is to take him down.
Crawford will not let Canelo just walking on the ring when he wants. Because we could see this fight, Canelo did everything. When he wanna rest, he could rest easy, you know, in this fight. Yeah, of course, when he wants to work, that guy didn't give him work. Just rest. And I think with Crawford, it will be harder to rest.
Crawford isn't Bivol. He's not naturally a 175-pounder. He started at 135 and worked his way up with discipline and careful training over the years. Moving up to 168 means he'll face someone who can take punches that knock down welterweights. Crawford's timing, footwork, and ability to adjust all need to improve with the bigger weight. He must pack enough power to demand respect without losing his speed and precision. That balance is the main goal of this training camp, and Lester Martinez is helping to simulate that challenge.
No problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw CaneloAlvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing.
Dana White will promote the fight through his new TKO company, a partnership with Saudi boxing official CaneloAlvarez. This is White's first big move into boxing promotion since launching TKO, and it's happening on a huge stage, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on September 12th, during Riyadh season. CaneloAlvarez called it the fight of the century and hinted at major TV deals coming soon. This fight isn't just about the title. It's a crossover event meant to bring different fans together, featuring 2 fighters known for top skill and big names.
Secret, if he allowed me, ask him which the first event fight he will have in September. Ask him if you want to answer.
So is CaneloAlvarez and Dana White clearly stating that the first main event / card we're going to see of TKO Boxing is CaneloAlvarez versus Terence Crawford. Is this all a part of Turki Al-Sheik's blueprint for CaneloAlvarez to fight for undisputed in May?
Fans are even buzzing that the fight might be streamed live on Netflix. Al-Sheik made the matchup happen after persistent public demand and likely intense talks behind the scenes. Canelo had earlier ruled out fighting Crawford, calling it a lose-lose because of the size difference. Winning against a smaller opponent would bring criticism, and losing would hurt his reputation. But everything changed when Al-Sheik got involved. Canelo said, "Everyone is asking for the fight. My man Turki Al-Sheik wants it. That's why we're here."
Fighters who will fight you in the future, obviously not Crawford, but with that kind of mindset, they just want to last the distance.
That's a mediocre mind. That's a mediocre mind because they come just to survive, to go to the 12.
For Crawford, this fight isn't about money or hype. After Canelo's win over Bivol, he said, "I'm feeling blessed. Everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason I'm here. In September, I'll show the world what greatness looks like." This isn't just a catchphrase for him. It's how he truly feels. He's always been confident, focused, and speaks only when needed. When asked why he believes he can beat Canelo, he gave the same answer he's had all along: "Because I'm the best." That's why everyone will tune in on September 12th. Canelo responded with a respectful nod to Crawford's words.
No, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a...
Canelo said, "Crawford is one of the best fighters out there, and he enjoys sharing the ring with someone like him." For Alvarez, who has faced greats like Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather, and Gennady Golovkin, that respect means a lot. The feeling is mutual, but the fight is still very real. McIntyre also admitted this might be Crawford's last fight. At nearly 38, with multiple titles and nothing left to prove, he has the chance to retire at his peak. "Yeah, it probably could be," Bomac said without hesitation.
I can see him doing it, Is it a challenge for him? Yeah, of course. It's a challenge for the whole team? Yeah, of course. And that's something that we in the business for, being great. I mean, we all can retire from that, after that. You know what I'm saying? We can retire after that, and we just sit back and do what you're doing.
This fight marks the peak of a long journey. If Crawford wins, he'll reach the top of modern boxing history. Undisputed champion at 135, 140, 147, and 168 pounds. No one else has done that in this era, not since the WBO became equal with the WBC, WBA, and IBF. Only Usyk and Inoue came close, but neither has tried what Crawford is about to do. While Alvarez easily won a unanimous decision over Bivol, many felt the fight lacked the intensity it should have had.
Is Canelo waiting you out, avoiding you? How would you describe the fact that you haven't fought him yet?
To be honest with you, I don't know what that man is doing. I feel like every time I say something, people try to say that, I'm looking for a payday, I'm doing for this and that. But I've been the mandatory fighter for the past 2 years. I won a title eliminator first, and I won WBC interim, and that guarantees you a spot. So the fact that this fight hasn't happened is really crazy to me. But
throughout the fight, Bivol used a careful and very evasive style, constantly moving around the ring and avoiding any real exchanges. He focused mostly on defense, trying to dodge punches instead of launching serious attacks. Canelo, meanwhile, kept trying to close the distance, trap Bivol, and land strong shots, but he had trouble keeping him in one place for long. The fight turned into a back-and-forth pattern of Bivol backing away and Canelo pushing forward, with few exciting or intense moments.
It was absolutely crap, load of rubbish. The fight really was a waste of time. If you haven't watched it, don't watch it because there's better things you can be doing, like probably watching the grass grow or watching some paint dry maybe. But that fight was a total waste of time. Watching that as a former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and Hall of Famer, I was thinking to myself, what an opportunity you've got there. If I was fighting still 10 years ago, if that opportunity came up for me, I know...
Clarissa Shields was honest with her criticism, reflecting what many fans thought during the fight. She said both fighters were to blame for the boring performance. Shields, a two-time Olympic gold medalist and one of boxing's most respected voices, stressed that the aggressive fighter has to trap their opponent and make the fight happen. It's both fighters' fault, she said. When you're facing a runner, you have to cut off the ring. This kind of fight hurts the sport.
Canelo. Jesus, Lord. Come on. You're getting paid all this money to fight against a runner who we all knew was going to run. A Cuban style. You chose him. And now you say you hate fighting runners? Well then, don't fight runners. We all know who we want to see you in.
Her words gave a professional view that matched what many fans felt, especially those who paid expecting a big fight, but got a chase instead. Oscar de la Hoya didn't miss the chance to criticize Canelo. He directly blamed Alvarez for choosing an opponent he should have known would avoid fighting. You're getting paid all this money to fight a runner we all knew would run Cuban style. You picked him, and now you say you hate fighting runners, de la Hoya said. His comment was a clear jab at Canelo's choices and a reminder of the growing belief that Alvarez has been avoiding tough, risky opponents lately.
A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game. Unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, and this is the truth again, it's a money grab. That's it.
The situation with William Bivol wasn't entirely Canelo's choice. The fight became necessary after Alvarez was stripped of his IBF title for refusing to face Bivol earlier. Bivol then claimed the vacant belt. So if Canelo wanted to regain undisputed status, he had no option but to fight the Cuban-born boxer. It was a mandatory fight, not a carefully picked payday, and that matters in the bigger picture. Still, the result looked disappointing. Canelo had a great chance to show clear dominance before his highly anticipated super fight with Crawford, but instead, he left with a win that felt more like a placeholder than a strong statement. Oscar de la Hoya, continuing his criticism, suggested a different path many fans agree with. "We all know who we want to see you fight," he said, naming David Benavidez. "Go fight Benavidez. He won't run." This reflects the common fan call for Canelo to face the younger, undefeated Benavidez, a hungry fighter known for pressure, volume punching, and aggression, an opponent who wouldn't avoid action. De la Hoya also questioned the sport's state, saying, "It's a good fight, but it's sad. You know it starts from the top too," pointing to bigger promotional and matchmaking choices that push fighters away from real challenges.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
As the buzz grows, all eyes turn to the highly anticipated fight between Canelo and Crawford. The matchup has already sparked strong opinions in the boxing world. Julio Cesar Chavez, one of Mexico's most legendary fighters, shared his thoughts with Fight Hub TV. He predicted a knockout victory for Canelo, saying Crawford is out of his depth at 168 pounds. "It's really an uneven fight," Chavez said. "Crawford is a great fighter, but Canelo is in a different league. Crawford is going for the money, and Canelo is going to knock him out." His remarks stirred debate, especially since Crawford has shown dominance at 147 and 154, including a big win over Errol Spence Jr. Still, moving up several weight classes to face a natural, experienced bigger fighter like Canelo brings new challenges that many think Crawford won't be able to handle.
Decision or stoppage if they fight in May, Canelo and Crawford?
Decision or...
And why does Canelo beat him, before you get out of here?
Listen, we can have the skills and everything, but jumping that much like that,
Jumping like that much, getting hit. I don't think Crawford's ever fought a fighter that's hit him directly, just straight, constantly in the arms. And it's not because they can't. They don't think that way.
Appreciate you.
Gotta clear it out, guys. Remember, this man's been pro since what?
Teofimo Lopez, another rising star in boxing, shared his thoughts with ES News. He said Crawford might have some early success, but he believes Canelo's power and ability to adjust will win out in the end. I think Crawford will give Canelo a tough fight at first, but once Canelo gets comfortable and adapts to Crawford's style, we'll see him finish strong in the later rounds, Lopez said. His view adds balance. He respects Crawford's skill, but sees Canelo's size and experience as the key factors once the fight settles down.